When Solo bombed at the box office, I don't think anyone was really asking for what is essentially a spin-off of another spin-off. I mean, you got Solo, which is a spin-off of the Star Wars movies as a whole, and now they're doing a spin-off of that by having a Lando Calrissian movie starring Donald Glover. But that's what Lucasfilm announced because, yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe they thought this one would actually work, but either way, for the most part, we didn't hear any news about it for the longest time until probably a couple months ago when we heard this news that the showrunner for it, or I don't know, the showrunner, head writer, whether it's a movie or a TV show, it's still up in the air, but the showrunner for it actually got fired. And the funniest thing about this was the fact that they never told him officially. He had to find out when he was doing publicity for his movie that he was directing for Disney, A Haunted Mansion, and that was something else that also flopped at the box office. And in my opinion, this is the reason why they were getting rid of him, because they saw the writing on the wall that this movie was going to be a huge bomb for them and they're going to lose a lot of money. So, all right, you bring on this guy to actually write one of your shows or make one of your movies or something like that. It's like, oh, like I said, I'm still unclear about Lando, what that's ultimately going to be, but all right, you hire this guy to do this, but then you also give him this project right here and see like, okay, let's see what he can do. And seeing that this completely failed, I mean, no wonder for Disney that they're actually going to just choose to get rid of him. But of course, people are taking umbrage with the manner in which they told him, in that they never told him at all. They basically just told Donald and Stephen Glover, Donald Glover's brother, that they're going to be taking over as the head writers. And the writer previously, Justin Simien, was never informed about it. In fact, according to him, he had to find out on social media, which in my opinion is a pretty bad way of telling someone that they're fired, in that they didn't tell him at all. And apparently they still haven't told him. Justin Simien says he still hasn't heard from Disney about Donald Glover replacing him on Lando. And this is according to this interview from The Wrap. Haunted Mansion director Justin Simien has still not heard from Disney about Donald Glover and Stephen Glover replacing him as writer on their streaming Star Wars series turned movie, Lando. Okay, so I guess it was a series that is going to become a movie now. In a recent interview, he told The Wrap that the news articles he saw on social media announcing the decision was and remains the only official word I ever heard about my involvement on the project. So that's a quote from Justin Simien. He added that he didn't get an appraisal of the script I wrote, but the studio has otherwise not been in touch. So, yeah, I mean, that's it. And like, he did make these Instagram posts during this situation back in July, basically his reactions to the whole thing, and that. Yeah, he was finding out about like that he's been fired from this, which to me is a pretty bad way. Like I've already said, it's like, that's not a good way to actually say that you're not a part of this anymore. And one of the interesting things that he said is this quote. I mean, he was talking about also Guillermo del Toro, who was supposed to make a Jabba the Hutt type movie for Disney or series or something like that. But he more or less is like, he pitched the idea or something like that, but then nothing ever transpired with that. And this is kind of what he's talking about with this Justin Simien, that is. I'm seeing Guillermo del Toro making the rounds, who also was attached to the Haunted Mansion incidentally. At a certain point, talking about his Jabba the Hutt movie that didn't get made. There's a pattern, isn't there? And at least I'm not alone in the situation, Simien said. But I would say I don't know how it went for del Toro. I don't know why anybody would sign up for that again, to sort of pour your heart and soul into something and then to wait several years and then find out in an article that someone else is doing it. Yeah, I don't know if I would want to do that again. That doesn't sound fun to me. At the end of the day, Simien cemented his previous comments praising the Glovers, sharing that he looks forward to seeing their vision. So it's like, okay, I mean, at least he's got kind of being a little bit commendable about this, but a lot of this, I think, ultimately comes down to the fact that at Lucasfilm, they don't know what they're actually doing, and they're just trying to throw things at the wall and seeing what sticks. And I'm pretty sure that's what they did with this Lando one. I mean, whether they're going to move forward and actually produce it, I mean, I really can't say, because we've been seeing a lot of the stuff that they've been putting out as far as Star Wars related, and it just hasn't been landing the way that they wanted it to. I mean, one of the better things that they had was probably the first couple seasons of The Mandalorian, but as we saw previously, that the numbers of viewership just completely dropped off. Now Ahsoka, that was something that they were trying to bring on, like saying like, hey, it's Ahsoka. People like Ahsoka. She's from Clone Wars. She's from Rebels. We're bringing in Dave Filoni as the showrunner to this. And that just kind of landed with a thud where like, I don't know, a huge more margin of their fan base just kind of like tuning in for the first episode and then just dropping off because she's just not as popular as a character as they were wanting her to be. And now something like Lando, and like, would that actually have a good impact? Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it would. I mean, Obi-Wan, I mean, even then, like the premiere episode can only garner a couple million viewers, which is pretty much nothing compared to like what you would think Obi-Wan would actually bring in. I mean, the fact of the matter is Disney Star Wars is kind of a dead brand. And when you have stuff like this going on where they don't even inform people what's going on who are involved with the projects, it just goes to show that there's chaos over at the studio, and it's just an indicator of complete mismanagement at the top down. And unless they actually fix just the basic parts right there where they just communicate with each other internally, then I don't know how they can actually produce anything of worth quality. But let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below. And if you like this video, make sure you click that like button, share the video, and subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date with the latest news. Thank you.